Well done, Stuart. That was a fantastic result. Secured Lancashire's safety as well this season in the Premier League, but it's not often Clydebank lose 3-0.
No, definitely. Clydebank's a good side, and listen, I know they've got a big game on Monday night, and they maybe rested a couple of players, but we had a job to do. And the boys have been professional and went about it and done what they've been doing the past couple of months. You know what I mean? Listen, if we went out the cup against Petershill, which was a massive disappointment, I think the boys' attitudes have been spot on. The next couple of games after that, we maybe didn't win, but they were still battling, and I knew they were still trying for us. And eventually we've got our rewards. So listen, I can't give the boys enough credit. They've been absolutely fantastic, and you watch them there, and you know they look like a good team. I mean, like a really good team. Their form says it all. 4 clean sheets, scoring goals. So it's down to the boys. They've been absolutely brilliant.
They all really battle for each other as well, and they had to do that at times today as well. You know, it was, you see them all work so hard for each other, setting up chances, dispossessing the opposition as well. You know, it's brilliant to watch, and they so deserve what happened today, didn't they? In terms of the performance, really merited it.
Aye, listen, I don't think the first half was pretty. I thought it was, as I've said before, the situation we're in. It's been a bit edgy and a wee bit kind of panicky at times, but they stuck to the basics and defended well and hard to beat and fighting for it, and eventually you do that, teams get frustrated. As long as you're not gaining it, and then we've obviously got the talent up front to score the goals, so it's worked really well what we've been doing, but it's all down to hard work and been hard to beat.
Will Sewell scored some 2 good goals to obviously get us ahead, and then Corey got the great header as well. So, yep. I mean, you know, like you say, quality all round, really. Aye,
listen, there's a lot of quality in the team, and do you know what? I would say maybe the people are saying, oh, he's been playing great and playing. There's more quality in the team than we've been showing maybe the past 5-6 games, because we had to play differently. We had to show a different side to our game, and the boys want to get the ball and look pretty and do good, and there's boys in the team that can do that, but it was the other side of the game that I think they've done brilliant the past couple of months. It was the hard work and the determination, the desire, and then it's the moments where their quality is shown through getting the goals. Yeah, obviously Will's the one banging the goals in his own form, but I'm sure Will will be the first to recognise the difference Scott Adams made up for him up there. Addy's been playing with a knee that's been sore and nursing it and getting through it, and he just takes the weight off Will as well, and a bit of pressure off Will with taking the knocks and getting his body in, and I think as captain of the team, as a club, he's been absolutely superb in this.
And you know, like I say, right throughout the team, Colin McGoldrick coming back was probably quite key though, as well though, and he seems to have stabilised things a bit at the back.
Aye, Connor's come in, and obviously he's a big boy. You know what I mean? He's tall and he wins his headers, and that takes a lot of pressure off people. But that's just not what Connor's all about. You know what I mean? Even running about his feet and stuff, for such a big guy, he gets the tackles in and gets the foot in, and he's good in the ball as well. And that has helped steady the defence. But it's not just that, we changed the shape as well. We also went to 3 at the back, and with 2 wing backs maybe covering a bit more rather than getting forward, and that's made us harder to beat. But listen, Connor's come in, Addy's come back, but I think just the team in general and the squad, their attitude's been spot on, and they've really wanted to keep this club into the Premier League. And by the way, obviously we've got tunes on the air, and there's a bit of kind of singing and all that, and people will be thinking, all they've done is stay up. But there's more to it than that for us. What we've been through this season and the situation we're in. A lot of people had us relegated before Christmas. A lot of people have been doubting us, and the boys have really stood up to it and showed some people wrong. But that's only some people. See the supporters, honestly, they've been absolutely fantastic. To myself personally, when things aren't going well, I've got people messaging me privately and supporting us, and that means a lot. And they've always been there for us. That's what I says to the boys: make sure you give them a round of applause at the end, because they've stuck by you, and they've no gauge you stick when things are wrong.
I was going to ask you what, I think you've answered the question, but I noticed that you did have a chat with the boys just at the full time before that great applause and ovation you got when marching up to the stretching room.
I think both sets deserve it. I think as I say, the fans, I mean, when things only going well, they've only given me grief, they've only given the players grief, they're always supportive. There's always one or two who gets a bit in, bit that, we can deal with that, but in general, supporters, they've backed us all the way. And I think the players deserve that round of applause as well on the way off as a team together. So, to say, people will be thinking, they've only stayed in the league, but there's more to it for us.
Absolutely. I think, like you say, I mean, when you first came to the club, we had this great escape when Largs looked all but down. And although we've called it the Great Escape Mark II to a degree, this is separate. It's individual in its own right, and it's a new team practically as well, which you've had to rebuild. There was a bit of an exodus with the Scottish Cup final. Yeah, I mean, a lot of young players in there, like you say, peppered with a bit of experience. That will do all these young players that are in that side a huge bonus going forward in terms of the attitude and the talent and being used to this level and, you know, looking up the way.
Well, I think we always used that excuse when we spoke before, Callum, like, they're still young and this and that, but to a man, every one of them's grown up and they've took responsibility and they became men, and I think it's a big step for them in their careers that they've done the past couple of months and showed a difference to them, they've learned, and they're no wee boys anymore, they've stood up and they're all men today, as they've been for the past few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say was the kind of turning point?
I don't know, obviously it was the win at Kilbirnie was good. We got the draw against Talbot, and I think they took confidence out of that we could have won that game. Obviously Auckland, like Talbot, been the best team about for years, quality side, and the fact that they've kind of matched them and maybe could have won the game, I think they maybe grew in confidence and thought, wait a minute, we're a not bad team here. And obviously we've changed the shape as well, and that's not down to me. We've got different players in the team and they've defended well in that shape, and we've just grew for there. It's momentum, and I was worried about because we didn't have a game last week. We had a good bit of momentum going, and I was worried going into the Glenafton game.
Especially when Glenafton made quite a good start in that match.
And I thought, well, wait a minute here, maybe that's affected us, but the boys just kicked on again. And honestly, I can't give them enough credit. The boys have been absolutely fantastic.
I noticed that Angie Postioglu, I think yesterday, just said that the Celtic, it was almost like they'd had 2 seasons in one. It almost feels like we've had 3 seasons in one at Largs. I don't know, because I mean, if you think about it, I mean, this has been extraordinary. We've had the pandemic. We then started pre-season training last year in May, and then we had pre-season friendlies from June, and then, like you know, we had that crazy midweek schedule, and you know, it was a kind of uphill fight from that point onwards, because we made a kind of bad start, and then like you say, you know, if you take it all into consideration, the boys really have come on a ton since the start of the season as well.
It has been a long season. I felt it myself, to be honest, but the last 6 weeks probably flew in because we've been doing well. But again, we spoke about the boys have come on a ton, and it's sort of saying them, like, at times in this season everybody's falling out with each other, and you can tell it's as if people don't like each other and there's a kind of bad atmosphere, but I run the games and I run the wins and they're all best pals, they all love each other, and that just comes down to winning games. That's the way football works.
And I mean, like you say, there's just been this complete transformation, but you know, at one point it was looking quite bleak. You know, we had a few dark points at the time. I think the home defeat to Blantyre, to my mind, was you know, at that point a lot of folk did have us down after that match, you know, and when you looked at the table, we did have the games in hand, but a lot of the teams above us, well, they had the points in the bag, and it's always that bit more difficult when, although you know you've still got your destiny has, you've still got to win all those games. I mean, I made the point to somebody at the St Roch's game, look, we had that was just after the Auckland Light game, I said, I think we actually need to win every game to be absolutely sure, and it turned out that way practically.
The other teams in the mix as well have been winning games and on a good run as well, so and credit to them for that. So listen, it's that 5 wins in a row. No,
that's right.
5. Yep. And obviously we drew against Auckland Light, and that's like great for us league winning form, that and you don't often see runs like that, so that's I wouldn't imagine that we'd win that many games in a row.
I know. So that's all credit to the players that they've shown the belief and they've just got better and better. Well, enjoy tonight. Well done.
Thanks,
fantastic, Stuart, and super.